Hi you cool cats and kittens. Welcome to my newest video. I hope everybody is keeping safe and well. Thank you so much again for all your support. I can't thank you enough. It has been just amazing. Thank you. Okay, today we're going to get through a nice juicy vinyasa flow. I'm going to chuck in a few arm balances and things like that today. If you're not comfortable with arm balances, or if you're learning, I will take it in stages and just take it as far as you feel comfortable. The only thing that you will need today is your mat. I don't believe we will use any props. If you do want any blocks or anything like that, please feel free to get some, especially if you're learning crow. If you don't have any blocks, meaning either these lovely squidgy blocks, get maybe a stack of books. You want them quite high, so you want them to come up to about here, and then just pop a towel or something soft over them. That is if you want to try and learn your crow or crane once we get to that part in the video. So if you need any props, go and get them, and I will see you in a minute. Okay, so we're going to start off in a tabletop position. Really important today that we get the wrists nice and warm. We do quite a nice warm up on the wrists. At any point when we're doing this warm up on the wrist, if it feels uncomfortable, don't push it. The wrists obviously aren't designed to take your full body weight, but a lot of the time in yoga we are putting weight through them, especially if you're going to go up into a handstand or into crow or anything like that. So it's really worth working on the strength and mobility of the wrists, especially if you want to include that in your practice. Okay, so going into a tabletop position, we want the fingertips facing forwards towards the front of your mat. We've got the hands stacked directly underneath the shoulders. Now spread the fingers out on your mat, and we're going to begin to go back and forth. So we're keeping the arms as straight as possible. And if it's comfortable to do so, take the shoulders past the wrist line. Obviously, if that's not comfortable to do, don't push it forwards. Just take this as far as you feel comfortable. We're aiming to keep those hands flat down onto the mat the whole time. Just starting to warm up those wrists. And then from here, we're going to turn the hands to face towards the edge of your mat. So turning the fingertips to face outwards. Keep the hands directly underneath the shoulders, and then we're gently rocking from left to right. And again, we're trying to keep the hands flat. Make sure the fingers are spread out on your mat. And then from here, turn the fingertips to face towards your body. Now you're going to have to bring the hands in a little bit closer in. Fingertips facing towards your legs, palms facing down. Tuck the toes under as well if you want to. And then we're just going to sink back, so bottom back towards the heels. Adding a little foot stretch as well. I do appreciate my arms look very strange in this position. And then gently pushing forwards from those toes. Turn the hands the other way, so still fingertips facing towards your knees, but turn the hands the other way. Now try not to put too much weight through them, and we're gently going to go from one side to the other, so gently rocking from left to right. Untuck the toes and then gently sinking back towards the heels. We're just going to gently push the weight equally through the hands, so no rocking from left to right at this part. And then sitting back onto your heels, take the hands out in front of you and just gently circle the wrists. And the other way. And then we're going to interlock the hands. And we're going to inhale, pushing those arms up. We're looking up to the hands. And then exhale, bringing them back down. Back into your tabletop position. We're just going to work through a little bit of a warm up. So on an inhale, allowing the chest to open, looking forwards, lifting up through the tailbone, allowing the tummy to drop down. And as you exhale, curling round the other way, chin to chest, tuck the tailbone under, push those shoulders up. Inhale, looking forwards, opening up through the chest, push those shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round.
Inhale, lift.
Exhale, round.
Last one. Inhale, lift.
And then exhale, round.
On your inhale, just coming back into a neutral spine position.
I'm going to take your right leg out behind you. Moving forward a little bit. And then it's up to you. You can either keep just working with the right leg, or you can reach forwards with that left arm. We're looking down to the mat. We're pushing nice and strong through that right arm. Inhaling through the nose as we exhale. We're going to bring your right knee to left elbow. Inhale, reach. Exhale through. Inhale, reach. Exhale through. 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale through. Last one. Inhale, reach. And exhale through. Now we're going to place your left hand down. We're going to keep that right leg out behind you. I'm going to flex the foot, push the heel to the back of the room. And then from here, placing the toes down on your mat, keeping the right leg straight, we're going to push the head towards that left knee. Now, if you want to push more weight down through that right foot in your hands, we can lift that left knee up off the mat. We're working on your right hamstring. We're dropping the head down towards that left knee. Placing that left knee back down onto your mat, turning the left foot out to the left-hand side, then moving your weight into the left hand, left knee. We're lifting that right arm up to the ceiling and we're looking up to the right hand. We're going to drop the right hand overhead, rolling that right shoulder back. So a nice line of energy all the way down the right hand side of your body. Now you can either stay here if you want to make it slightly more challenging. We're going to rock the weight forwards into the left hand, into the left knee. We're going to try and lift that right leg up. And then we're going to bend your right leg, taking the right hand behind you towards the right foot. Roll the right shoulder back and we're looking up to the ceiling, really opening up through the heart chakra. Feel that right hip opening. Releasing that right leg, taking the right hand back up. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, placing that right hand, right knee back down onto the mat, and then gently rocking the hips from left to right. We're going to tuck the toes under and we're going to lift up into a downward facing dog. Now, as it's our first downward facing dog, just gently pedaling those legs out, pushing the head towards the knees, lifting up through the tailbone. Finding some stillness in your downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, lifting up onto your tiptoes. And as you exhale, sinking the heels down, pushing the head towards the knees. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pushing those heels down. And again, inhale, lift. And exhale, pushing those heels down. On your next inhale, taking that right leg out behind you. As we exhale, bending that right knee into split dog. We're encouraging the right heel to come to the left glute. Squeeze that heel towards the glute as hard as you can, lifting up that right knee as high as you can. And we're pushing equally through the hands. Inhale, straighten that right leg. As we exhale, hugging that right knee in towards the chest, coming into a plank position. So taking the shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, kicking it back out again. And again, exhale through. Shoulders over the wrists, spreading the fingers out, pushing down through the hands. Inhale, taking the right leg back out behind you. Now this time as we exhale, we're going to place that right foot down in between your hands. We're going to drop that left knee down, untucking that left toe. And we're going to inhale, lifting up through the chest. Now you can either keep the hands down in this position and allowing that left hip to sink down towards the mat. If you want to go a little bit deeper, lift those hands up, take them onto that right leg. If you're still comfortable here, feel free to add some weight into that left hip. So lifting up through the arms, draw the shoulder blades together and we're looking up. Now you can lean back into this. This will add some weight into that back leg. Make sure your left leg is a nice straight line. So you've got the knee directly behind the hip and that foot directly behind that knee. If you feel you want to open that right leg forwards a little bit, feel free to and allow those hips to sink down. You can interlock the hands and add a back bend if you want. We're going to inhale through the nose, exhale, bringing those hands down, framing that right foot. We're going to tuck the left toes under, lifting up off your left knee, keeping the left hand down. We're going to inhale, lifting that right arm up to the ceiling.
And then from here, we're going to drop your side of the left foot down. Let me just turn around. That makes a lot more sense if I face this way. So we're in our side stretch. We're going to drop that left foot flat, and we're going to turn the right toes to face towards the outside of the mat. So that right knee is leaning towards the right hand side. We're going to lift up nice and tall with that right hip, leaning over with that right arm, roll the right shoulder back. Inhale through the nose. Now as you exhale, drop that left hip down and take the hands towards that left foot. We're looking towards that left hand. On an inhale, we're going to push down through your right foot, push down through that left arm, lifting back up, take the hand back overhead. And then again, taking the hand back, dropping that left hip down, taking that hand towards that left foot. Let's do one more. So pushing through the left, lifting the hips nice and high, looking underneath that right arm. And then from here, placing that right hand down, coming onto the toes of the left foot. And we're going to kick back into a three-legged dog with that right leg lifted. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, either placing the right foot down into a downward facing dog, and then we're working through your vinyasa, or you can come down through your vinyasa with that right leg raised. Watch the bum position. We need to get the bum low, looking down to the mat. Exhale as you come down, and then inhale, lifting into upward dog, and then exhale, taking it back into downward facing dog, pedaling those legs out. We're going to inhale, lifting up onto tiptoes. Exhale, dropping the heels down. And again, inhale, lifting onto tiptoes. And as you exhale, dropping the knees back down onto your mat. So we're back into tabletop. We're going to take that left leg out behind you. The option is to just work with the left leg. If you want to make it more challenging, take that right arm forwards, looking down to the mat. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale through. Inhale, reach. Exhale through. Inhale, reach. Exhale through. Last one. Inhale, reach. And exhale through. Straightening that left leg out behind you, placing that right hand back down on your mat. Keeping the left leg straight, place the toes at the back of the mat. Looking down. We're going to push the head towards that right knee. Lifting that right knee up if you can. And then just working on that left hamstring. And just allowing the head to drop down, lifting up through the tailbone. I'm going to place that right knee back down onto the mat, taking the right foot out to the right hand side, placing that left foot flat, and then lifting that left arm up, and we're looking up to that left hand. Now the option here is to stay in this position if you like. If you want to make it a bit more challenging, shift the weight forwards into the right hand, right knee, and we're going to lift that left leg, and then we're going to reach forwards with that left arm. So rolling that left shoulder back, looking up to the ceiling. And then the option is to bend the left leg, take the left hand behind you, gently rolling that left shoulder back and opening up through that left hip, looking up to the ceiling. We're going to release that left leg, take that left hand back up, inhale through the nose. As you exhale, placing the left hand, left knee back down onto the mat, and again gently rocking from left to right. Finding some stillness through your tabletop, tuck those toes under, lifting back up into downward facing dog, pedaling those legs up. We're going to inhale, lifting that left leg this time up to the ceiling. As we exhale, bending that left knee into split dog, really encouraging that left heel to the right glute, lifting that left knee as high as you can. Inhale, straightening the left leg. As we exhale, moving the shoulders back over the wrist, bringing that left knee in towards the chest. Inhale, kicking it back out behind you. And again, exhale through. Inhale, lift. Exhale through. Last one. Inhale, kicking it back out behind you. This time as we exhale, placing that left foot down in between your hands. And then dropping that right knee down, untucking the right toes. You can either keep the hands down, looking forwards, opening up through the chest, allowing that right hip to sink down. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, take the hands up onto that left knee, allowing the hips to sink down. If you want to go a little bit further, interlock those hands, looking up to the ceiling, opening up through the chest. And we're allowing that right hip to stretch. When you're ready to come out of it, inhale through the nose and exhale, bringing those hands down. We're going to frame that left foot. We're going to tuck the right toes under, lifting up off your right knee. Keeping the right hand down, we're going to inhale, taking that left arm up to the ceiling. Now from here, rolling over onto the side of that right foot, moving that left foot to face towards the side of your mat, the left hand side, so towards you guys. And I'm going to lift the hips, so I'm pushing through that right hand, the side of my right foot, rolling that left shoulder back, looking out underneath that left arm. Inhale through the nose, exhale, coming down, taking that left hand towards the back of your mat. That left foot is facing towards you. On an inhale, push back up, lift the hips, take that left arm back over. Exhale down, drop the hips down towards the mat. One more. Inhale, lift, taking that left arm back over. And then looking down towards the mat, place that left hand down, rolling onto that right toe. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into a three-legged dog. And then the option here is to either place that foot down, roll that body forwards into a plank, inhale through the nose as you exhale, either dropping the knees, dropping the chest, keep those elbows tucked into the side of the body, or you can hover down through chaturanga. Inhale, lifting up into upward dog or cobra, squeeze the glutes in either, and then exhale, making your way back into tabletop. You might want to take the wrists out to the side again, or the fingers facing towards the side, gently rocking from left to right. Placing the hands down, walk those knees in a little bit. So palms are facing up, fingertips are facing towards the knees. And we're just gently stretching the wrists back out. And then making your way back into tabletop. Okay, so when you're ready, tucking those toes under, we're going to lift back up into a downward facing dog, just pedaling those legs back out. We're going to inhale, lifting that right leg back up behind you as we exhale, bending the right knee into your split dog, encouraging the right heel towards the left glute. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Now as we exhale, we're going to move the shoulders back over those hands if we can. We're going to take your right knee to left elbow, so across the body, exhale, coming forwards. Inhale, we're going to go back into split dog, so opening back up through that right hip. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. One more. Inhale, kicking that right leg back up, opening up through that right hip. And then as we exhale, looking towards the hands, we're going to place that right foot down in between the hands. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift up into a high lunge. So we've got that right knee stacked over that right foot. We're up off that left heel. Nice and strong through the legs, lifting up those arms. Now in the legs, in this position, you want to squeeze the thighs together. So imagine you're trying to squeeze the legs together, keeping the tension in the body. Lift those arms up, push the shoulders down. Nice. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, we're going to bring the hands down through heart center. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, we're going to try and hover that left knee down towards the mat. We're going to inhale, pushing back up. Take those arms back up. This time as we exhale, hands back down through heart center. We're going to take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. So we're going to twist to the right. So twisting to the right hand side, taking that right elbow, left elbow onto the outside of the right knee. Push the hands together and gently rotate the body, upper body up to the right hand side. If you want to make this more challenging, open those arms out. Push that left elbow into the right knee. And if it's comfortable to do so, look up to the right hand. When you're ready, inhale, lifting back up into a high lunge. Exhale, bring those hands down. Walk the right foot out to the right hand side of your mat. Bring the hands onto the inner side of that right foot. So both hands are on the inner side of the right leg. We're just pushing back and forth through that left toe. So if you're comfortable in this lizard position, you can either come down onto the forearms or you can stay where you are on the hands. Get a little bit deeper into that right hip. We're going to make our way back up onto the hands if you're down on the forearms. Rolling now that right knee out to the right hand side. So only if it's comfortable to do so. We're rolling onto the outside of your right foot. And we're gently applying some pressure onto the right knee. We're looking up to the right hand side. Bringing that right foot flat, place that right hand back down. Inhale through the nose, kick that right leg back out behind you. Exhale, bringing the right leg down into downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting that left leg up. As we exhale, bending the left knee, opening up that left hip. Inhale, straighten the left leg. As we exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, kicking it back into split dog, bending that left leg. Exhale across. Inhale, kicking it back out behind you, bending that left leg. This time as we exhale, placing that left foot down in between your hands. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to lift back up into your high lunge, squeezing those legs together, pushing the shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, bringing the hands down through heart center. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, hovering that right knee down this time. Inhale, lift, take those arms back up. Exhale, down through heart center. Now twisting to the opposite side. So right elbow coming onto the outside of that left knee. And we're twisting the upper body to the left-hand side. Push the hands together. That helps aid with the rotation. If you're comfortable, open those arms out. We're looking up to the left hand. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, bring it back down. We're going to lift back up into a high lunge. Bringing the hands down. Walking that left foot out to the left-hand side of your mat. So the hands are both on the inner side of that left foot. And we're in our lizard pose, so just pushing back and forth through that right toe. Now if this is too much, just feel free to drop that back knee down. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into this stretch, come down onto the forearms. Try and keep the movement back and forth if you can. Lifting back up onto the hands, rolling that left foot out to the left-hand side if it's comfortable to do so. Gently pressing on that left knee. And we're looking up to the left-hand side. Again, if that's too much, drop that right knee down and tuck the toes of the right foot. Placing that left foot flat, bringing the left hand back down. We're going to step back into a plank this time. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, either dropping the knees, dropping the chest, or hovering the body down. And then inhaling into your upward dog or cobra. And then make your way back into a tabletop. Take the knees a little bit wider. Bring the big toes together. And then reach forwards. And we're going to push your bum back towards the heels into your Bakasana, child pose. And then from your child pose, just making your way back up into a tabletop position. I'm just going to change direction. And then when you're ready, we're going to go into downward facing dog. Now we're going to have a little go at sort of kicking up with that right leg, then swapping to the left leg. Now, if anyone's like me, I was absolutely petrified of arm balances. It took me ages to do crow. It took me about 3 years. I'm still not great at holding a freestanding handstand. However, over the last year, I have really practiced, and there's a few things that I've done that has really sort of helped my progression. So we're going to go through a couple of them now. So the first thing is downward facing dog. Now what I want you to do is we're going to start by lifting that right leg. Don't worry about lifting it as high as you can, just lifting that right foot up. We're going to bend into your standing leg. So we're going to bend into your standing leg. Now we're going to try not use the right leg to propel ourselves up like this. So we're not going to do this. We're going to push through that left leg. So all we're going to do is make sure your fingers are spread out on the mat, pushing down through the hands. Your hands are about shoulder width. We're going to bend your standing leg, and we're just going to push. Bending the standing leg, push. Bending the standing leg. So we're not kicking this right leg up. This is going to mess up the alignment in your spine when we're going up into handstands. Ow, I just kicked my table. So we're going to bend the standing leg. One more time. Kicking off the left, try and kick the right leg up. Kick. Even if it's this, it's fine. We're using the standing leg. So inhale, lifting that right leg back into our three-legged dog. As we exhale, place that right foot down in between the hands. We're going to lift up into a high lunge. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, we're going to go back into that twist. Taking the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Now from here, we're going to step that left foot forwards. We're going to be in our twisted chair. So bring the left foot forwards in alignment with the right. Knees together. Left elbows on the outside of the right knee. Sink the bum a little lower. Push the hands together. We're looking up to the right shoulder. If you want to make it more challenging, open up those arms. Push that left elbow into the right knee. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, bring the hands back together at heart center. I'm going to gently face forwards. Inhale through the nose, and as we exhale, dropping the head down, straighten the legs as far as you feel comfortable into our Uttanasana. So take the hands down if you can, if not down to the shins. We're trying to move the weight forwards into the balls of the feet rather than into the heels. We're going to soften the knees. We're going to inhale nice and slowly, coming all the way up into a standing position. Take the arms up overhead, down through heart center as we exhale. And again, inhale, lift. As we exhale, take the arms wide or bringing them back down through heart center, back into an Uttanasana. Maybe gently shaking from left to right with those hands. Just making sure you're dropping the head down. Take the hands to the knees, your shins. Inhale, looking forwards. Exhale, back into your forwards fold. We're going to step back into a downward facing dog. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. So we're going to lift that left leg up. We're going to start bending into your right leg. And we're just going to try and kick off the floor with your right leg. Right leg dominant. So don't kick up with this left leg. Make sure you're just pushing through that right foot. I'm just going to move myself over to the side so I don't kick my table. So pushing down through the right, bending that right leg, and then lift. And again. Now you probably, like me, you've got one dominant leg. This one's a lot harder for me. Lift. Let's try one more. Kick. Well done. Three-legged dog. Inhale through the nose as we exhale, step that left foot down between the hands. We're going to inhale, lifting up into a high lunge. Exhale down through heart center, back into the twist. Right elbow onto the outside of your left knee. Push the hands together, looking up to the left-hand side. And then when you're ready, stepping that right foot forward into twisted chair. Knees together, make sure that right knee doesn't move forwards. And if you want to, open those arms out, looking up to the left hand. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Inhale through the nose as you exhale, hands back together at heart center. We're going to face forwards. We're going to sink the bum a bit lower. We're going to lift up into our chair, normal chair. Drop the bum a bit lower, make sure you can see the toes. Inhale through the nose, and as we exhale, coming back up into a standing position. Well done. We're going to inhale, taking the arms all the way up overhead. And then taking hold of your right wrist with the left hand, just leaning over to the left-hand side. Gently coming back up, swapping sides. So taking the left wrist with the right hand, gently leaning over to the right. Bringing it back into the center. Inhale, release the hands. Exhale, down through heart center. Okay, step the legs out a little bit wider than the hips. We're going to go down into our Malasana or our yogi squat. Squat. I'm a yogi squat. Inhale, take those arms up as we exhale. Down through heart center. Now start bending those knees. Walk the feet out a little bit wider if you need to. Place the heels down, lifting up nice and tall through the chest, and push the tailbone down. Now, depending on how you feel here, like I say, you can keep the hands down. You can maybe gently roll the knees out. Hello, Jasper. You gonna come say hello? Because it just looks a bit strange that you're meowing, but they can't see you. Hello, babes. My lovely Jasper. He's about 97 in human years. He's my baby. I rescued him from the RSPCA about 20 years ago. Okay, when you want to have a little break, just take the hands down behind you, or we're going to move forwards into our crow or crane. I'm just going to pop Jasper outside, and then we're going to have a little move forwards with these arm balances. Okay, so moving on, we're going to work on our Bakasana and Kakasana. Bakasana? Kakasana, I think that's it. So crow and crane. Now, these, like I say, crow, crane, they took me ages. They took me absolute years. I had a fear, which most people have when they get above a certain age, of actually stacking the weight directly over the hands. So I had a fear of falling forwards, basically. I'm going to show you how I learned crow and crane. If you're happy with your crow and crane, what I want you to do is work through both So crow is where you place the knees on the outside of the arms, so nice and high up on the triceps. Great to do your Malasana, so your yogi squat first, which is what we just did. Obviously the legs are already in the right type of position. Place the hands flat, spread the fingers out. And what I did to learn these was I took the weight already down onto blocks. So rather than falling constantly forwards, I actually made sure that the weight was balanced, and then I worked on moving away from the block. Now, if you don't have these nice squidgy blocks at home, like I said, get a stack of books. You do need it quite high, and then place a towel or something over the top of it that's soft. Do not place your nose on it. You're going to place your forehead down. So I'm just going to demonstrate how I learned these. So fingers down, spread the fingers out, hands are directly underneath the shoulders. If you're not sure about how wide to place the hands, bring the hand across to the opposite elbow, make sure you can hold on to it, and that is the correct distance. So from here, looking forward, I'm going to place my forehead down, and I'm just going to work on pushing one foot up and then the other foot. When you're comfortable, you can start moving away from the blocks. Okay? If you are comfortable with crow or crane, or you're nearly there, one of the biggest mistakes I see is people look this way, so they're looking down towards their feet. If I just move the blocks forward, out the way, sorry, I'm going to look forwards now. So this is only when you're not using the blocks and you're trying to work on that balance. Look forwards, get into the right position, push forwards from one foot at a time, look forwards. Okay? So that is crow. Crane is slightly different, and I prefer. So crane, you do need a little bit of more mobility in the hips, and this is what I prefer. And like I say, this is a move that I actually prefer, but have a little go at both. So your crane is from standing, so you're going to go onto the feet, placing the hands down flat, spread the fingers out, and now we're going to place the knees onto the back of the arms. So rather than onto the outside, they're placing onto the back. Again, you can use the blocks if you need to. So placing the knees down on the back, we're gently going to take the head down onto those blocks, and we're going to work on lifting one foot at a time. Only when you're comfortable can you lift both feet up, and you can start working on moving away from the blocks. Have a couple of goes. You will find that you have a favourite. Like I say, mine is crane. If you're comfortable with these positions, look forwards. I want you to try and challenge yourself. Maybe hold it for a minute or so. Keep breathing. Do not try and hold your breath whilst holding these positions. And another option, if you want to make it really challenging, is trying to push back into a plank. Now, if you're new to crow and crane, and if you're new to yoga, please don't do this. I don't want you to hurt your toe. If you are comfortable with these, you really need to suck up through the core. So really engage that lower core and then kick the legs back out. Watch again your toes. So with demonstration, I'm just going to do my crane again. Looking forwards. And then when you're ready, push. Oh, nice. And then you can either work through your vinyasa or push back into downward facing dog. Now, once you've finished having a little go at crow and cranes, like I say, feel free to pause the video if you want to have a little more time on these. We're just going to shake those wrists out. And we're going to start working on our side crow. Gently take those hands down, palms facing down, fingers facing towards the knees, and then sinking back towards the heels if it's comfortable to do so. Maybe just twisting the wrists. Okay, so now we're going to work on our side crow. So back into downward facing dog, and we're going to lift that right leg up. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, place that right foot down in between the hands. We're going to inhale, we're going to lift back up into a high lunge, and we're going to exhale back into that twist, left elbow coming onto the outside of the right knee, and then stepping that left foot forward, we're back into our twisted chair. Now this is kind of the best position to start learning side crow. Now what I want you to do, I'm just going to move to the side a little bit so you can see me. So we're in this lovely twist position. from here, we're going to place the hands down. Now you want your hands to face towards the side of the mat. So my hands are going to go towards you guys. So I'm going to place the hands down. So bend the knees and just sink the bum down. Your left elbow is going to stay in contact with that right knee. So left elbow is going to stay in contact with your right knee. Your hands are both facing to the side. So they're both pointing to the right hand side. Now you're going to gently take the weight over into that left arm first, and then bending your right arm, pushing that right elbow into your right hip. Now the hands are even, so make sure one hand isn't further forwards than the other. Resting down onto that elbow, both elbows in contact, and then gently we're trying to lift those legs up to the side. And when you're ready to come out of it, come out of it. Now side crow, I don't think is as difficult as normal crow or crane. Also, if you fall in side crow, you don't go very far and you do tend to land on the side of your face, which is much nicer than crow and crane, where you actually normally land on your nose. So we're going to have another little go again. If you're struggling in this position, just come down onto your toes, place a block underneath maybe your bum, lift that left arm up and then twist. So take the left elbow over to the outside of that right knee, hands facing down, fingertips spread, fingers facing towards the side, and then gently leaning forwards. Well done everybody, shaking those hands out. And let's swap sides. So back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting that left leg up. Exhale, placing that left foot down in between the hands. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into high lunge. Exhale, down into your twist, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And when you're ready, stepping that right foot forwards, we're back into our twisted chair. I'm going to go down into a seated position. So from here, just dropping the bum low. Take the hands to the side. So we've got both hands now to the side. Right elbow is in contact with your left knee. Spread the fingers out on your mat. And when you're ready, take the weight forwards into the right elbow. Left elbow is in contact with that left hip. And then when you're ready, try and lift those legs up. When you're ready to come out of them, just placing the feet back down. Oh, I'm going to come down into a seated position. Well done, everybody. Crow and crane. You're not quite there, keep practicing. It takes a bit of time. Like I say, it took me forever. And a lot of falls. A lot of falls. Use blocks, like I say, use towels, use something soft. Don't place anything by your nose, always place it on the forehead. Okay, take the feet wider than the knees, knees wider than the hips, take the hands behind you, gently rocking the knees from left to right. And then taking the legs wide, we're going to flex the feet, lifting up nice and tall through the chest. Inhale, take those arms up. As we exhale, turn to face the left leg. I'm going to fall forwards down towards that left leg. Now, depending on your range, you can either take the hands onto the ankle or the shin, elbows out, and use your upper body weight. So think about your chest coming down to your thigh, not your forehead towards the knee. If you're a little bit more comfortable, take those hands around, interlock the hands, elbows out, and then pulling the head down to the inner side of that left knee. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, try and go a little bit deeper into that stretch. And then inhale, lifting back up. Both arms up as we exhale, turning to face that right leg. Taking the arms either side of the right leg. Keep that right foot flexed. Either taking the hands onto the ankle or shin. Interlocking the hands around that left foot. And we're taking the head to the inner side of that right leg. Inhale, lifting back up. This time as we exhale, we're going to take your left hand over towards your right hip. We're going to take your left shoulder down towards the left knee. So down to the side this time. Take the right arm up and over. Now, I really like this stretch because it stretches all the way down the right hand side of my body, also all the way down the back of the hamstrings. Now, if you kind of come to here, what I want you to do is take this right arm behind you. roll the right shoulder back and use that as weight to come down towards that left leg. If you'd prefer to tuck that left hand underneath and then taking the left shoulder down, you can take that right hand down to the left foot. Roll the right shoulder back and we're looking underneath the right arm. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, try and go a little bit deeper. Inhale, lifting back up, taking the right hand over to that left hip, left hand up. And as we exhale, right shoulder coming down towards that left thigh. I beg your pardon, right thigh. And again, we're either taking that hand behind us, rolling that left shoulder back, opening up through the chest, or you can take that left hand onto the ankle or foot. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, try to go a little bit deeper into that stretch. And then inhale, lifting back up. Take both hands up and exhale. We're going to reach forwards this time. So take the hands down if you need to. Keep the feet flexed. Keep walking those hands forwards. Elbows wide. And we're aiming to get the chest down. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, try and go a little bit deeper into the stretch. Now, depending on how comfortable you feel here or how mobile you feel, an option to go deeper is to take the hands out towards the feet or the shins. Push the hands in, lift those elbows up, and take the side of the head down to the floor. Inhale, gently release. Bring the hands into the middle, just lifting up the knees. One knee at a time. And then coming back onto your mat, we're going to make our way into Navasana, our lovely boat pose, everybody's favourite. So you can either keep the hands down behind you, fingertips facing towards your body, lifting those legs up. And if you're new to Navasana or you're not a fan of boat pose, one option is to gently come down onto the forearms, straighten the legs, and then make your way lifting back up onto the hands. It's a really nice way of building up those muscles. If you're comfortable in this, take the hands off to the side and maybe even try and straighten out those legs. Come a little bit lower towards the mat. Try not to let the feet touch down and then lifting back up into boat pose. If you want to make it even more challenging, straighten the legs. Inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, take the arms up overhead. Inhale, lift. Now I'm just going to show you something. Place the feet down if you want to come out of boat pose, or unless you want to challenge yourself and hold boat pose for the entire time I talk. A little thing that you can have a little go at. This is quite challenging. You'll see in a minute when I have a go. It's 50-50 whether I can do it. We're going to try and do boat pose into crow or crane. Now, please be careful. Again, this is just a little challenge towards the end of this lesson. If you want to have a go, great. If not, just hang around. Fast forward this bit. Okay, so we're going to work on boat pose again. So hold in boat pose. When you're ready, straighten the legs, take the arms overhead. We're going to come down. And then on an inhale, I'm going to lift up, place the feet down, place the hands down, looking forwards. And I'm going to come into my crane. Place the feet down, take the bum back down, back into boat. Take the arms back up overhead. And then lift back up, place the feet down, place the hands down, looking forwards. Into crow or crane, feet down, into boat. And then you can just place those feet down and rest. If you want to have a little go at that, maybe pause the video. Be careful, we are coming towards the end of the class. I don't want anybody to hurt themselves. Okay, from here, placing the feet down, inhale through the nose, bring the arms up. As we exhale, nice and slowly rolling down onto the mat. And then placing the hands down the side of the body. Bring those feet in a little bit. So walk those feet in a little bit towards your bottom, placing those feet flat, taking those arms down. We're going to inhale, we're going to lift the tailbone up nice and slowly, squeeze in the glutes as you lift, exhale down, and again inhale, lift, exhale down, inhale, lift, exhale down, Last one, inhale, lift. And the option here is to hold this position if you want to, don't hold the breath. Just keeping the glutes nice and tight. So you can take the hands underneath you, roll the shoulder blades together, try and lift up a little bit higher. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, keep the elbows down on the mat and place the hands onto the hips. Try not to let the knees splay outwards, keep the knees in alignment with those feet. Inhale through the nose, and when you're ready to come out of it, exhale, gently rolling the body down, starting with the top part of the spine, working all the way down to the lower back. And then hugging the knees in towards the chest, take the knees apart, and we're gently rocking from left to right. And then placing the feet down on the width of your mat, take the arms to the side, palms facing down. We're going to drop both knees to the left-hand side. And then if you want to increase this, place your left foot on top of the right knee. And just feel that stretch down that right hip, down the right-hand side. Placing that left foot flat back on your mat, taking the knees back to the center, dropping the knees now down to the right. And placing the right foot on top of the left knee if you want to. Taking that right foot off the left knee, bringing the knees back into the center. Walking the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to drop open. You can take the arms up overhead if you want to. Nice body stretch, nice full stretch down the spine. I'm going to bring those knees together, hugging the knees back into the chest, taking the hands down on top of the knees, knees wide, gently rocking from left to right. And then from here, if you want to, you can go into your Anada Balasana, which is your happy baby pose. So lifting the feet, keep the legs bent. We want the legs as wide as you can without lifting the tailbone up off your mat. So keep the tailbone pressed down, legs as wide as you can, hands onto the feet or ankles. And then we're gently going to rock from left to right. If this isn't comfortable, take the hands down onto the ankles or just hug the knees in. Practice on keeping this tailbone down. I see that a lot where the bum is lifted. We're not stretching out the back of the neck, just working on those hips. And then we're going to take that left leg down onto your mat, hugging the right knee into the chest. And then taking that right knee gently out to the right hand side. So keep hugging it in with that right arm, but allow the right knee to drop out to the right hand side. Bringing the right leg back into the center. And then if you want, you can kick that right foot up to the ceiling. I'm going to flex the foot. I'm just stretching out that right hamstring. If you want to go a little bit deeper into the stretch, take the hands either onto the thigh or onto the ankle, elbows out. And just encouraging that leg down. You can add some weight to this by lifting the upper body up. So trying to get that right knee towards your head, elbows out. Keep flexing the foot, so keep pushing that heel upwards. Inhale through the nose as you exhale, bending the right leg, taking the left hand on top of the right knee, right hand out to the side. And as we exhale, we're going to take the right knee over to the left, keep the right shoulder down, and we're looking out to the right hand. Bringing the right knee back into the center, hugging it back into the chest. Taking it back down onto your mat. We're going to hug that left knee in this time. Taking both hands around that left knee. Encouraging it into the chest first of all. And then taking the left knee out to the left hand side. Hugging the left knee with that left arm, but allowing it to drop out towards that left armpit. bringing the left leg back into the center, and then straightening up that left leg, flexing the left foot, so pushing that heel up to the ceiling, either taking the hands behind that left thigh or walking them up towards the ankle, elbows out, and the option is to lift the head as well. Keep flexing the foot. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, bending that left leg, place the right hand on top, left hand out to the side. Inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, taking the left knee over to the right hand side. We're keeping this left shoulder down, and we're looking out towards that left hand. On an inhale, bringing that left leg back into the center. Bringing the right knee in to join it. Knees apart, gently rocking from left to right. Maybe even some circles with those knees. And then changing the direction. And then when you're ready, just straightening the legs down out onto your mat. Feel free to take the knees a little bit wider, or those feet a little bit wider, so maybe even taking them to the width of the mat, or wider if you prefer. Allow the feet to turn outwards, taking the arms down the side of the body, palms facing up. Just make sure the lower back is down on the mat. Be careful we're not arching that back. Closing down the eyes if it's comfortable to do so. And on your next inhale, we're going to try and create as much tension in the body as you can. Now this is clenching the fists, the hands, the arms, the face, the glutes, the thighs, Mula Bandha, which is pelvic floor, your feet, anything you can. And we're going to hold the breath, and we're going to hold that tension. So nice deep breath in through the nose, and we're going to hold as much tension in the body as we can. So inhale. And then exhale, release. Good, let's try that again. Inhale, make sure you get as much tension through those legs. Maybe even try and hover those legs up off the mat. Inhale through the nose, creating as much tension in the body as you can. And then exhale, release. Last one. Inhale through the nose, creating as much tension in the body as you can. And exhale, release. Well done, everybody. Gently rocking the hips from left to right. When you're ready, bringing the knees in towards the chest, keeping the knees together this time. Place the palms flat and gently rock the knees from left to right. And then bringing the arms into cactus, so bending the arms, palms facing up. And just allow the knees to settle one side. And then you're just gently going to roll over onto that side of the face into your fetus pose. And when you're ready to come up into a seated position, crossing the legs if it's comfortable to do so. We're going to take the hands out towards our knees, keeping the eyes closed if you want to. Forefinger and thumb together, either palms facing up or palms facing down. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears, and then we're going to release as we exhale. So inhale through the nose, squeeze the shoulders up to the ears, and then exhale, release. And again, inhale through the nose, squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale, release. Good. Inhale through the nose, bring the hands together at heart center. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale through the nose. We're gently going to bow forwards to one another. Namaste, everybody.